Hey everybody, what's going on? Josh here with Scrapyard Films, and today I'll be showing you how to get the best mixer streaming settings with OBS Studio for partners and non-partners. I'm going to explain everything in detail for the non-partners, and then once I'm finished, I'm going to go back and adjust the little things that partners would change. So first thing you're going to want to do before we start is install the links that I have provided below. We're going to be installing Visual Studio 2015 by Microsoft, and then you're going to have to search for your graphics card drivers and update those. Those are the first two things you got to do. And once you've done both of those things, we can continue. So I'm going to assume you have done both of those. First thing you're going to want to do in OBS is open up the settings. Then over here, we're going to go to audio, and then you're going to want to change your sample rate from 44.1 to 48 Hertz. You're gonna have to restart OBS after this, and that's fine. So we hit apply, hit OK, and go ahead and restart it. Once you've done this, let's open back up settings. And then you're gonna go to your stream tab on the left. Stream type, make sure it's streaming services. Service, we're gonna be doing Mixer FTL, which stands for faster than light. What this does is it actually gives you almost zero latency, or very, very minimum latency, making your stream real time so you can communicate with your fans and your streamers almost instantaneously, kind of like the right there. Rather than Twitch, you have to wait a good 5 to 10 seconds before they'll see one of your reactions, or they'll see you respond to one of their chat messages. Once you've done that, go ahead and hit apply, and then let's go down to the video tab. So in video, for non-partners, this is how we're going to be doing it. Base canvas resolution, we're going to be matching that of what your monitor is and what the resolution you're playing your game is. So we're going to assume it's a 1080p monitor and a 1080p game, and go ahead and choose 1920 by 1080. Output scaled resolution, we're going to want to drop that down to 720p, because that's going to be a smaller file size for your fans to download while they're watching. A smaller file size makes it easier for fans of all sorts of internet connections to watch your stream. Next, for downscale filter, we're going to be choosing either bicubic or Langsaus. This depends basically on what kind of computer you have. If you have a really good motherboard and processor and graphics card, you can do this last one. If you have just an okay one, maybe like a GTX 1060 or something like that, then bicubic's fine. Next is common FPS values. This is going to depend basically on how good your internet upload speed is. If you have a decent upload speed, maybe like 10-15 megabits upload, then you're going to want to do 30 frames per second. If you have a really good upload speed like gigabit internet, then you can go ahead and do 60. But I'm going to assume not everybody has gigabit, so we're just going to go with 30. Once you're done with that, go ahead and hit apply, and then make your way to the output tab. Click on that, go to output mode, make sure it's in advanced, and we're going to go under the streaming tab right here, and then we're going to choose the encoder. To encode with your processor, let's just say you have a really good processor like a Ryzen 1800X or a 2700X or something like that, and then an okay graphics card like a GTX 1060 or something around that area, then encoding with your processor is a better option than a graphics card, because you're going to be gaming off your graphics card and your processor has a lot of extra power it can use to produce a stream. So encoder, we're going to choose x264, which is your processor. Make sure Enforce Streaming Service Encoder Settings is checked. And again, for non-partners, we're going to be downscaling this to 720p footage, making it easier for your viewers to watch. So make sure you check rescale output and put it 1280 by 720. For rate control, there are a good couple options you could do. CBR stands for constant bitrate, means you tell it a target bitrate, and then it does its best to try to keep it right there the whole stream. That's a really good option, it's pretty common. Another good option is ABR, which is average bitrate. You tell it a certain bitrate and it tries to keep it at that bitrate the whole time, but it's allowed to fluctuate a little bit. So basically, if you use ABR, you may have a little less buffering every once in a while, depending on your internet speed. VBR is a variable bitrate, it's just like ABR, but you get to choose a CRF number, which is basically a quality number. So VBR usually has higher file size, and sometimes your audio can get a little bit off sync. And then CRF stands for constant rate factor. Basically, it's a quality scale from 0 to 51, 0 being the best quality and highest file size, and 51 being the worst quality and lowest file size. You usually don't want to stream with this one, because this one really demands a good processor and good internet. So the best one I choose is ABR. Bitrate, this one's basically dependent on your internet and your viewer's internet. So if you have a decent upload speed, like maybe 15-20 megabits per second, then you're going to want to do around 2000 to 2500. If you have a really good upload speed, like if you have gigabit internet and you could upload it, 100 megabits per second, then you can go about 3,000 to 3,500. And again, this is for non-partners because your streams won't have options for your viewers to downscale and download lower file sizes. They're going to be pretty much downloading whatever you're uploading. So if you upload a ton of bitrate, you're uploading a ton of data, and not everybody has great internet. So you got to think about them. So we're going to assume you have decent internet, not gigabit. So we're going to do 2,500. Make sure custom buffer size is unchecked. Keyframe interval, we want to go ahead and choose 1. If you have it on 0, it's going to go to auto, which can fluctuate. It can choose either 1, 2, or 3. And basically on these numbers, if it's 1, you're going to keep a good quality stream guaranteed, as long as your internet holds up. If you have 2 or 3, you may experience some pixelation, and your stream may not look as good. So keep it at 1. CPU usage preset, ultra fast means if you have a really terrible processor, this is going to encode, and it's going to sacrifice a little bit in the quality. Placebo at the very bottom, the opposite end of the spectrum, means you have a really, really good processor. And it's going to be really, really good quality, but it's also going to have a little bit of higher file size. So usually a really good encoding setting is probably fast. Now this is all dependent on your processor as well. So if you have a really good processor, you could probably do medium or slow, but just test it and play with it and see how your stream looks. If you have a pretty okay processor, maybe it's not the best, very fast and super fast are really good options as well. So we could just choose fast for right now, right in the middle. Profile, high, main, or baseline. High is pretty much going to design your stream for people watching on their computers. Main is going to give your stream a profile for basically people who watch it on their phones, so it's going to sacrifice a little bit of quality. And baseline, you don't even got to worry about that one. So I like high, that's the average one just about everybody uses. Tune, none. x264 options, leave them blank. Now once you start streaming a lot on Mixer, then you'll become a partner and your viewers will have the option to reduce the quality on their own. So you can stream in the highest quality that your internet can upload in. So let's go back a bit. Now we're going to say if you're partnered, you want to go to the video tab. You can do output scaled resolution. You could change that back to 1080p. Bicubic, you can keep it there. Frames per second, put it at 60. Hit apply. Let's go back to output. And then the only thing we got to change right here is rescale output, uncheck it. And then you could increase your bit rate to about 3,500 or even higher. You could even go to 5,000 if you wanted, and if you had really good upload speed. And those right there are the best Mixer settings for partners and non-partners using your processor to encode.